Hey, Melissa, how you doing? Gina's Audits. Hey, what's up? Who it is? Eat your broccoli. And Karen M. Hey, Gina, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, I decided to start a little early. Hey, I'm good. It's a beautiful day out here in Wilcox. No rain, no nothing, no mosquitoes, at least for the time being. I hope not later. Don't forget to hit that like button, ladies. Hey, Gina's Audits, you now have a wrench. So all of you guys can connect to each other now that you guys all have wrenches. All the ladies. Yeah, we're on chapter 4 of Gunfight at the OK Corral. Wow, there's going to be quite a few of these. There's 9 chapters in here, or 10. 10 chapters. Wow. Ooh, man. Yeah, it's going to be quite the read. So, I guess we can wait for a few more minutes to get a few more people in. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get started, I guess. Yeah. All right, it's chapter 4, guys. Ladies. Gunfight at the OK Corral. Okay. Tombstone. Best remembered for the notorious fight at the OK Corral, had a population of 10,000 in 1881. In fact, the gunfight did not even take place in the OK Corral, but outside of it. It was Hollywood that declared the fight to be in the corral. The Earp and Clanton feud culminated in the famous battle on October 26, 1881, when Ike Clanton and the McLaury brothers, Billy and Tom, shouted out with Wyatt Morgan and Virgil Earp and Doc Holliday. Virgil had received word that the cowboys were armed and gathering at the OK Corral. Doc Holliday met the Earps on their way to the OK Corral and insisted on joining them. Just two shot first is a matter of great historical debate. What is known is that in a hail of bullets from the Earps and the Cowboys, Doc shot Billy in the chest and cut Tom McLary down. When Ike Clanton ran, Holliday fired two shots, missing him narrowly. A bullet from Frank McLary cut into Doc's pistol holster and burned a painful crease across his hip. Doc's return shot smashed into into McLaury's brain. Less than 30 seconds after the opening shot, three men lay dead and three were wounded. Doc had shot each of the dead cowboys at least once. Virgil Earp had been shot in the leg and Morgan through both shoulders. Only Wyatt Earp survived the fight unwounded. Pictured is an assembly of the most famous frontier lawmen at Dodge City. From left to right are W.H. Harris, Luke Short, Pat Masterson. Seated, Charles Bassett, Wyatt Earp, W.F. McLean, and Neil Brown. The principals in Tombstone Justice on October 26, 1881 were John Henry, Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, Virgil Earp, and Morgan Earp. And the coffins are Tom McLary, Frank McLary, and Billy Clanton. A banner draped over their caskets proclaimed murder in the streets of Tombstone. Wyatt Stat Barry Earp was born in Monmouth, Illinois on March 19, 1848. In 1864, the family moved to California, but 5 years later, Wyatt traveled to Lamar, Missouri, where he ran unsuccessfully for town marshal. Short after marriage, his wife died, and Wyatt drifted to Kansas, where he worked a while as a buffalo hunter. He then served as a policeman in Wichita before moving on to Dodge City. While serving as a deacon in the Union Church of Dodge City, Wyatt supplemented his income as a gambler. It was here that he met men such as Pat Masterson and Luke Short, the main proprietor of the Long Branch Saloon. Hey, adjust your focus. I appreciate you coming in. First time I'm seeing you here. Welcome to my stream. In 1879, the Earp brothers, along with Wyatt's new wife, Mattie Blaylock, made their trek west. Wyatt received a Pima County Deputy Sheriff commission from Sheriff Charles Shibble. Then, in an abrupt turn of allegiance, Shibble dismissed Wyatt and appointed Johnny Behan as Deputy Sheriff, which started a hatred between the two men. It did not help matters when Josephine Sarah Marcus switched her affections from Behan to Wyatt. Behan went on to become the first sheriff of Cochise County. After losing his deputy's commission, Wyatt rode shotgun for Wells and Fargo and Company, guarding strong boxes. Virgil Earp drove a stagecoach, worked on a ranch, and served as a peace officer after the Civil War, during which he had been a Union soldier. He and his wife Allie settled in Prescott, Arizona in 1876. Virgil became a United States Deputy Marshal on November 27, 1879. He ran for Tombstone City Marshal in 1881, but was defeated by Ben Sippy. Virgil was wounded in the gunfight at the O.K. Corral. 2 weeks after the gunfight, Virgil was ambushed and received a crippling wound from which he never fully recovered. If I missed anything. Hey, good citizen. Yeah, there he is. What's up, brother? Good to have you in here. Who looks like your grandpa? Gina's audits. Was it this guy? Hey, anytime, man. I appreciate you guys dropping in. Morgan Seth Earp was born on April 24th, 1851, in Marion County, Iowa. Morgan, the third Earp brother to participate in the famous gunfight, recovered from his wound but was assassinated in Campbell and Hatch's Saloon in Tombstone on March 18th, 1882. A second bullet, evidently intended for Wyatt, who was watching his brother shoot pool, went wide of the mark. Morgan was shot through the spine from a window on the back door of the saloon. A coroner's jury decided that the murderers had been Frank Stillwell, Pete Spence, Indian Charlie, and John Doe. Until he could be transported to California, Morgan was laid out at the Cosmopolitan Hotel in a blue suit belonging to Doc Holliday. An armed guard of 15 men accompanied the body to contention, and from there, Wyatt and Warren Earp, Doc Holliday, Sherman McMasters, and Turkey Creek Jack Johnson traveled with the coffin as far as Tucson, where Wyatt shot Frank Stillwell. Warren Earp's name is variously listed as Warren Baxter and Baxter Warren. Warren did not participate in the gun battle at the OK Corral, but he was in Colton, California, working in a grocery store at the time. Upon hearing of the fight, Warren returned to Tombstone to help his brothers. On July 6, 1900, he was assassinated at 1:30 a.m. in Wilcox, Arizona. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Just right behind me, the headquarters saloon is back over here on the corner here, where this wine place is at. A coroner's jury ruled that Earp was killed by a bullet fired from a gun in the hands of Cochise County rancher John Nathan Boyett. Judge Nichols ruled that there was not enough evidence for an indictment as Boyett acted in self-defense. It was generally reported that Warren had challenged Boyett and got what was coming to him. Josephine Sarah Marcus Earp, pictured here wearing a dark suit, and her biographer Viniola Ackerman posed for a photo at Earp, California in the 1930s. Josie came from a traditional Jewish family. She got a part with the HMS Pinafore troop that performed in Prescott, and here she met Johnny Behan. The couple moved to Tucson, where they lived together until Josie took up with Wyatt Earp. I don't know if you got your ladies and gentlemen know where Earp, California is. I don't know if that sign is still there. Above, Josephine Sarah Marcus Earp is shown here in her later years. A hard life in Arizona and the Yukon took their toll on the one beautiful actress. Wyatt's liaison with Josie may never have culminated in formal marriage vows, but it lasted until his death, and she remained ever protective of his reputation. Left top is the most controversial photograph, purported to be of Josie Earp. It may have surfaced between 1900 and 1914. It was thought to be an old gambler's card. The gauzy dress was drawn over the voluptuous body. One of the early copies was identified as Coloma, copyrighted by the Pastime Novelty Company in 1914, continues to be identified with Josie. Louisa Houston Earp, a direct descendant of Sam Houston, was a woman of extreme beauty with large, luminous eyes. She met Morgan Earp in Dodge City and became his common law wife. She accompanied Morgan's casket back to the Earp family home in Colton, California after his assassination. She wrote her sister, "It is quite impossible to tell you all the trouble and anxiety in which the Earp family has found itself." Can't really show this one, guys, because, yeah. Elvira Alley Packingham Sullivan met Virgil Earp while she was worked as a waitress in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and he was driving a stagecoach. He soon brought her to Tombstone. Allie tried to read the future with cards when 5 black spades appeared. Virgil remarked, "5 brothers, all dark and handsome like me. That's why you married into, Allie. A spade flush." Allie described Tombstone as like living at the foot of the Tower of Babel. Seated next to her sister is Big Nose Kate, Doc Holliday's woman, as she looked in 1867 when she ran away from home in Davenport, Iowa. Her father, a Hungarian immigrant, had been a surgeon for Maximilian in Mexico. Born Mary Catherine Heroni, she took the name Kate Fisher and stowed away on a Mississippi River steamer sometime before 1867. She met Doc and Wyatt in Dodge City in 1876, but did not like the Earps and tried to get Holiday to sever his relationship with them. In her later years, Big Nose Kate married George Cummings, a blacksmith, in 1888. She returned to Arizona in 1895, and the couple lived in Bisbee, where she operated a bakery. In her application for admittance to Arizona Pioneers Home, she said that Cummings was a drinker. He committed suicide at Cortland, Arizona in 1915. Kate died on December 2nd, 1940, at almost 90 years old. This photo appears on the grave of Mary Catherine Heroni Cummings in Prescott, Arizona. Celia Ann Maddie Blaylock is perhaps the saddest story of the Earp women. She was White's common law wife until he took up with Josie Marcus. Maddie ended up as a prostitute near Pinal, Arizona, where she drank and took laudanum, laudanum to sleep. On July 3rd, 1888, she was found dead with empty whiskey and medicine bottles near her bed. In September 1873, Dennis John Henry Holliday, at age 22, left Atlanta, Georgia, on a train bound for Texas in hopes that a dry climate would cure his tuberculosis. He would not be able to practice his profession as long as he had the tubercular cough. This photo was taken on March 1st, 1872, to commemorate his graduation from the Pennsylvania College of Dental Surgery. His travels took him from Denver to Dodge City and eventually to the Arizona Territory, where he participated in the Tombstone Gunfight. Doc Holliday is shown here as he looked at the time of the famous Tombstone Gunfight. Doc Holliday, perhaps recalling past friendship with the Earps, decided to cast his lot with them as they went to that fateful destiny. Holliday had previously been the subject of gossip about the killing of stagecoach driver Bud Philpott, and the Earps had stood by him. On the morning of November 8, 1887, John Henry Holliday died at Hotel Glenwood in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Big Nose Kate had been with him during his last days, and she arranged for his service to be delivered by Reverend W.S. Rudolph of the Presbyterian Church. This one looks so much different than this one. They don't even look nothing alike there. Hey, AJ, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I really appreciate you sharing the video out. Newman H. Oldman Clanton, a rancher, farmer, and cattle rustler, was born in Tennessee and lived in Missouri, Texas, and California before settling on a ranch near Charleston. His four sons include Joseph, Isaac, William, Phineas, and he employed Johnny Ringo and William Curly Bill Brosis. 5 cowboys, including Old Man Clanton, died in a raid on Mexican smugglers led by Miguel Garcia in the Peloncillo Mountains. The Clantons provided meat for Tombstone, much of which came from ranches other than their own. Joseph Isaac Clanton operated a restaurant and lodging house near Millville on the east bank of the San Pedro River. Usually, I could be found gambling and drinking in one of the many saloons around Tombstone. He played a part in the festering gunfight when Wyatt Earp tried to get him to set up some of his friends for a stage robbery. When the fight broke out, Ike fled and his brother Billy was killed. On June 1st, 1887, Ike was killed for cattle rustling in Apache County. Hey, awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope my numbers can get up there. I really do appreciate that. Any help I can get. Frank McLaury, also spelled McLaury, Lowry, was killed in 1881 in the gunfight at the O.K. Corral. Frank was born near Oneonta, New York, and raised on a farm in Hazleton, Iowa. Although he ran with a rough crowd that shot up saloons, guys. I'm not sure who that is. I think it might be Reno, I believe. Oh no, that's it's the chief of police right there, guys. Right there. Although he ran with a rough crowd that shot up saloons and rustled cattle, he was never convicted of any serious crime. In one version of the gunfight, Frank was ready to leave town when he fell from his horse and was mortally wounded. He gamely returned fire, wounding Virgil Earp in the arm and leaving it useless for life. Thomas Clark McLaury's beginning and end of life were much the same as his brother Frank. Thomas supposed to have had his hands up with a load of buckshot from Doc Holliday cut him down. Sheriff Behan testified that Ike Clanton and Tom McLaury were unarmed. John P. Gray said, "I saw the battle." The Earps called out, "Hands up," and fired almost simultaneously. Hey, Lori Croft. Thank you for joining. I got the chief of police back there, Dale Hatfield. Not sure what he's checking out. I think he's checking out the swings or something. All right, guys. William Floyd Claiborne. Hey, Nadina. Welcome in. William Floyd Claiborne, also known as the Kid, was born in Louisiana on October 21st, 1860. He came to Arizona with John Slaughter and worked at the mines in Charleston and Hereford before he fell into company with the cowboy element. On October 1st, 1881, he killed Jim Hickey in a saloon brawl. He almost got involved in the famous gunfight with the Earps, but backed out at the last minute. On October 14th, 1882, he got into an argument with the Oriental's bartender Frank Leslie. Leslie threw him out, and Parsons reported that Leslie made as pretty a center shot on the Kid as one could wish to. Frank Stillwell was born in 1885 and grew up in Iowa City, Iowa. Welcome in, Anon Mouse. Frank Stillwell was born in 1885 and grew up in Iowa City, Iowa. He arrived in Arizona around 1877 and worked as a teamster for Ham Light near Charleston. He worked in a saloon, sold liquor, wholesale, and Sheriff Behan appointed him a deputy sheriff. He is implicated in a number of shootouts and accused of murdering Morgan Earp. On March 20th, 1882, Frank Stillwell's body was found near Tucson railroad tracks riddled with bullets. The coroner listed the Earps accompanying Morgan's body to California as the guilty parties. Ooh, damn. That shit's cutting out of here. Damn, I'm starting to warm up a little bit right here where I'm sitting. Robert Paul stands at the far left of the bottom. We got another one rolling up here, guys. Not sure why they're here. Hey. Hey, how you doing, bud? Robert Paul stands at the far left at the bottom of the stairs with a group of Pima County lawmen. Born in Connecticut, Paul followed the 1849 gold rush to California, but he never found his fortune. He moved to Arizona. Yeah, got a little of both there, broccoli. I'm not sure what they were doing. 'Cause the chief just pulled up there and parked for a second and went inside somewhere. But they're both gone now. When the bandits shouted, "Halt!" Paul yelled, "I hold for no one." He grabbed the reins and fired at the bandits. Paul went on to serve in several law enforcement capacities, including Pima County Sheriff. Yeah, yeah, that's the first time, man. That's the first time for me. The Earps and Paul did not feel that Sheriff Johnny Behan did enough to bring the bandits to justice. As an official of Wells Fargo, Paul created a wanted poster for 4 men, which was not to be posted but rather to be placed in reliable hands. All 4 men died by the bullet. Hairy head. John Peters Ringo was found dead at Turkey Creek Canyon in the Chiricahua Mountains in 1882 with a bullet through his head. Ringo was born around 1850 in Wayne County, Indiana. After his father committed suicide, Ringo's mother and family traveled to California, served as a constable in Mason County, Texas, and came to Arizona with another Texan in 1879. He became involved with Tombstone's cowboy element and was involved in a few saloon brawls. Ringo was found dead, straddling a tree with one shoe off. His death poses a mystery for many historians. The coroner called it suicide, but as man in the vicinity who owned a gun was a suspect, including the Earps and Doc Holliday. Johnny Ringo. John Behan was born in Missouri on October 25th, 1845. This photo shows Behan as sheriff of Yavapai County in 1871. He divorced while in Prescott and in late 1880 headed for Tombstone. Here he confronted Wilder. Both men wanted to be the new sheriff of the soon-to-be created Cochise County. Wyatt stood the better chance because he and the territorial governor were Republicans. Behan and Earp worked a deal. If Behan became sheriff, which he did, he would appoint Earp as deputy sheriff, which he did not. At the same time, Josephine Marcus, who had been living with Behan, switched her affections from Behan to Earp. After the Tombstone debacle, Behan served as superintendent of Arizona State Prison at Yuma. So, Sheriff Behan, guys. You guys ever watched the Tombstone movie? William Herring, a native of New Jersey, was born in 1833. He served as a deputy district attorney in New York before coming to Arizona in 1878. He had intended to close his brother's estate, including the Neptune Mining Company at Bisbee, but he stayed the rest of his life. Herring acquired several mining properties in the Tombstone area, and he also successfully defended the Earps and Holiday when they were charged with the murder of Tom and Frank McLaury and Billy Clanton. Judge Wells Spicer presided over two important legal cases during his career. He was at the 1875 to 1876 trial of John Doyle Lee for the 1857 murders at Mountain Meadows, Utah. He also served at the inquest convened at Tombstone in 1881 to determine if the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday should be brought to trial for the murders of Bill Clanton and Tom and Frank McLaury. In his decision, Spicer found the evidence insufficient to warrant holding the defendants for trial, and they were released. On April 13, 1887, the Arizona Daily Star reported that Spicer had visited Covered Wells, Arizona, and made two attempts to commit suicide, but was prevented by Bill Haynes. Wells was presumed to have drowned in 1881. Alrighty, we reached the last page here of this chapter. The gunfight at the O.K. Corral received national attention, most of it not helpful to the territory's desire to achieve statehood. President Chester A. Arthur ordered Arizonans to cease aiding, abetting, countenancing, or taking part in illegal proceedings. Look at what it says there, guys. Fake journalism. Which is a lot like the news now that they have. Can't really trust, the news that they have now. They always take stuff out, the important facts and stuff like that. And you never know. That's why we're out there doing what we do. Hey, Eminem, I appreciate you coming in, brother. Billy Clanton and Tom and Frank McLaury lay side by side at the morgue covered with the sheet. Only young Billy Clanton's face showed the pain of dying. On October 28th, the bodies were placed in handsome caskets with heavy silver trimmings. Photographs were taken of the corpses, and a procession headed by the Tombstone Brass Band played the March of the Dead. The first wagon contained the body of Billy Clanton, and second held the McLaury boys. Friends and relatives followed the bodies to their final resting place in Boot Hill. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you coming in, man. And that's really awesome, too, that you were a tour guide in Tombstone. I didn't even know that, man. It'll be pretty cool to meet you one day, man. That'd be awesome. But that's them, guys. That's the end of Chapter 4, Gunfight at the O.K. Corral. And tomorrow, we will continue Tombstone's Entertainment Tonight. Yes. Yes, it was, man. I didn't even know it had that many chapters in it, guys. It's got 10 chapters in it, which don't bother me none. It gives me more stream time and more views and everything else. Adjust your focus. You are very welcome. Eat your broccoli, Eminem, Nadina, everybody, Karen, Gina's Audits, all the ladies that came in, man. Melissa Stedman. Yes, all the ladies and all the gentlemen up in here. Thank you all. I appreciate you joining me here at the Historic Railroad Park, here on Historic Railroad Avenue. It would be an honor to meet, man, it would be an honor just to meet, some more cop watchers, man. It'd be so cool. Hey, check this out. In October, if you're not busy in October, the first weekend in October, we have Rex Allen Days here, which is which is inspired by this guy right here, this guy, Rex Allen. So they're gonna have a parade passing through here, coming down Haskell, and it ends over at the Cochise County building where the sheriff's department is at. But they're gonna have that, the parade, they're gonna have a rodeo, they're gonna have tractor pulls, they're gonna have the carnival at the Keeler Park. And shoot, if you can make it down here, man, shoot, that would be so awesome. Because I know that night they will be busy that night. Hey, Miss, you be chilling. I mean, caught the last of it, but I will always set my video to public, so if you have some time, you can check it out later. Yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for joining in. I started a little early, but hey, it didn't bother me none. So okay. And you are now a mod for the channel, Miss UB. Video whatever you can of the festivities. I'll wear my cowboy hat and boots. Oh, right here. Hopefully I can get a spot because it's going to be crowded right here, and they're gonna have a little stand set up right here in the front, so they're gonna be announcing all the floats that are going by. And this park will be crowded. I have some people here, and yeah, you know me. I'd always be out cop watching and seeing what's happening in the streets here, Wilcox. But I thank you guys. It's much love. This is Jose G. And we'll catch you guys mañana. Live at 5 tomorrow again, guys. Peace.